Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're digging into a career path that's, well, it's absolutely vital, incredibly demanding too, and it requires this really unique mix of strength, vigilance, and often surprising empathy.
That's right.
We're talking about the role of a prison officer.
Yeah, and it's a role where the stakes are just extraordinarily high. I mean, not just for the people directly involved, but really for the whole system.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, the interview process, well, it's critical. Every single question is shaped, to find out if a candidate really gets the environment and if they have that capacity for profound responsibility.
Absolutely. And so our mission today for this deep dive is to give you a really clear picture of what that role truly involves, and maybe more importantly, what it takes to actually succeed.
Yeah.
We're aiming to decode the core competencies, the specific mindset you need, drawing insights from Kaplan's really helpful career resources on common interview questions.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it like a strategic shortcut, maybe, to understanding what employers are really searching for.
Exactly. And we're going to unpack how these successful answer strategies they suggest really shine a light on the core principles.
Mm-hmm.
Ensuring safety, maintaining order, handling these complex human interactions with total professionalism.
Right.
It's about going deeper than just the surface of the questions, really grasping the sort of operational philosophy behind it all.
Okay, let's get into it. We've distilled this down to what feel like 6 crucial areas that keep popping up in these interviews. First one, and it's pretty fundamental, you're almost certainly going to be asked something about your background. Like, can you tell us about your experience working in a correctional facility?
Right. And what's really interesting here is why Kaplan focuses on this one so much. It's not just about, ticking a box saying, yes, I've worked in a prison before. It's more of a probe. It digs into whether you understand the whole correctional ecosystem, the environment, even if maybe your direct experience is limited, or maybe it's from a related field. Kaplan's suggested answer really emphasizes having a deep understanding of the policies, procedures, and protocols. The rules related to the management and security of a prison. But crucially, it's not just about knowing the rules by heart.
Right, not just memorizing.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
It's about getting the purpose behind each rule, understanding its psychological effect on inmates, and how it all fits into the bigger security picture. They're looking for someone who thinks like a strategist, not just someone following orders.
So it's demonstrating you grasp the inherent complexities, the layers. Even if your CV doesn't list years inside a facility, it's showing you get that the job isn't just about being physically present. It's about having that ability to de-escalate and resolve conflicts and, this is key, to maintain a safe and secure environment for inmates, staff, and visitors. That tells us the role demands a deep, practical understanding of both people and institutional safety.
That's a really critical distinction. And it brings up an important question for you listening.
Yeah.
How do your own skills, maybe from completely different jobs, translate here? How do they relate to handling strict rules, ensuring safety, resolving conflicts, but in this very structured, high-stakes place?
Yeah, that's a good point. Think about your own work. Where have you had to deal with protocol, safety, or immediate tricky situations with, tact?
Exactly.
Okay, so building on that foundation, that understanding of the environment, the next critical area Kaplan highlights is, active security. Maintaining order.
Yeah.
So the question often sounds something like, how do you ensure security and maintain order within the facility?
And again, this goes way beyond just sort of being there. It's about showing constant vigilance. Yeah. Strategic awareness. The Kaplan material stresses being aware of my surroundings and staying alert at all times.
Right.
But that's not passive, just watching. It's an active assessment of everything going on, knowing the layout of the facility, knowing where all the emergency equipment is. Yeah. That speaks volumes.
It does.
It shows you're prepared, you've thought through what-if scenarios before they even happen. Proactive.
And what I found really interesting were the proactive measures they mentioned. It's not just reacting when something goes wrong. It's about prevention.
Prevention is key.
Conducting regular rounds and inspections, making sure security protocols are being followed, being trained in crisis management so you can handle emergency situations effectively. This isn't just busy work, is it?
No, not at all.
It's about anticipating, mitigating risk, and having a practiced plan for, almost anything. It shifts the officer role from just a guard to being a really vital component of a complex safety system.
Yeah, and if you connect that to the bigger picture, it really shows this systematic, multi-layered approach to managing risk. preventing problems before they start. It's about creating an environment where order is kept through foresight, through constant, intelligent engagement, thinking about critical infrastructure. What specific bits of this security approach do you think are maybe overlooked in other jobs, but are absolutely fundamental, non-negotiable inside a prison?
That's interesting. Okay, now for an area where the human element really, really comes to the forefront. Can you give an example of a time when you had to diffuse a difficult situation with an inmate? A classic scenario question.
It is.
Designed to see not just what you know, but how you actually behave under pressure.
Exactly. And what's revealing here is the strong emphasis on soft skills. Even in this incredibly tough setting, Kaplan's example answer, it highlights things like approaching calmly, using active listening to understand the inmate's concerns, and actually acknowledging their feelings.
Right. Basic communication, but amplified.
Totally. These are foundational skills, sure, but in a prison context, they become critical tools for de-escalation. They let an officer take control of a volatile situation by using understanding, not just immediate force. It's almost a psychological move, reducing the perceived threat.
And it's that balance, isn't it, that makes a good answer stand out. Offering a solution that addressed their concerns while still maintaining the safety and security of the facility.
That's the tightrope.
Yeah. You're not just giving in, you're problem solving, but within really strict non-negotiable boundaries. And this leads straight to de-escalation, getting the inmate to a calm state. And this is important, reinforcing the officer's authority through reasoned action, not just barking orders.
That balance, it's incredibly tough. Balancing genuine empathy with maintaining those strict boundaries. It really makes you wonder, are there specific mental tricks or maybe just personality types that help exceptional officers really nail that balance without getting burnt out or, compromising their role?
It's a delicate dance.
It really is. A nuanced dance of power and understanding.
Which leads us quite nicely into another crucial interpersonal skill. How do you maintain a professional and respectful relationship with inmates? Now, for some people listening, this might kind of challenge their ideas about prisons.
It probably does. And what's really insightful here is the core ethical position baked into Kaplan's suggested answer. It's about treating inmates with dignity and respect, understanding that they are individuals and deserve to be treated as such.
Which isn't just about being nice.
No, absolutely not. It's strategic. It's a strategic imperative. When officers consistently show respect, it builds this foundation of predictability. It can seriously reduce conflict, reduce aggression within the facility. It makes everything safer.
And that strategic respect, it comes through in the communication style they suggest. Communicating clearly and respectfully, but also being firm but fair when enforcing rules and regulations. And here's a detail I found really sharp from the Kaplan source. Taking the time to actually get to know them and understand their needs and concerns. Now, this isn't about making friends.
No, definitely not.
It's more about understanding potential triggers, what motivates people, the underlying stuff that might lead to compliance or non-compliance. It's like an intelligence gathering exercise that helps keep things stable.
Yeah, absolutely. And connecting that to the bigger picture, this kind of steady professional respect actually builds a sort of functional trust. It doesn't mean you're buddies, but it allows officers to anticipate needs better, de-escalate more effectively.
Right.
What do you find most sort of striking about that, this unexpected nuance of relationship building and how the professional boundaries must be different from, say, a therapist's, but still holding on to that core respect?
That's a great point. Okay, moving on to our next key area, shifting back to the high pressure stuff. Can you tell us about your experience with emergency response and crisis management? This is where training and readiness really get put to the test.
Oh, definitely. And what's particularly striking here is just how broad the scope of emergencies is in the suggested answer.
Yeah.
It's not just one kind of crisis.
Yeah.
It's everything from active shooter response, first aid and fire safety, right through to handling riots, medical emergencies, and natural disasters. It just highlights the need for incredibly comprehensive, multifaceted training.
Yeah.
It shows that a correctional officer has to be this really versatile first responder, basically, able to adapt to almost any unexpected high-stakes situation.
And this really drives home the personal qualities needed, those attributes that are just essential in a crisis. The ability to remain calm under pressure and make quick, informed decisions to keep staff, inmates, and visitors safe. This isn't just about knowing the procedures, is it? It's about actually doing it under extreme stress, where thinking clearly, managing your own emotions, It's paramount.
Yeah.
Being able to process information that's changing fast and act decisively when potentially lives are on the line.
Which brings up a critical question for anyone listening, thinking about this. Okay, you can learn the protocols, but how do you actually build that mental resilience, that composure you need for navigating unpredictable, genuinely dangerous events, especially when the stakes are literally life and death?
That's the deeper challenge.
It's as much psychological as it is procedural, I think.
Agreed. And finally, our last critical area. This brings us to what is often a really challenging part of the job. How do you handle difficult or non-compliant inmates? This is a direct test of, well, both following the rules and having those sophisticated, tactical soft skills.
Right. And what's insightful here is the methodical, almost clinical approach that Kaplan outlines. It starts with first assessing the situation and determining the root cause of their behavior.
So understanding why.
Exactly. Then moving to using verbal de-escalation, active listening, and clear communication as your primary tools. This puts understanding before action. It aims to fix the underlying problem, not just stamp out the non-compliance itself. It's a layered response designed to stop things escalating.
And it's crucial, isn't it, that the source also acknowledges when force might be needed. Using appropriate force in compliance with the facility's use of force policy, but specifically as a necessary last resort.
Absolutely. Last resort.
And just as important is the follow-through.
Yeah.
Documenting the incident and report it to my supervisor for review and follow-up. This isn't just about dealing with the moment, it's about accountability, learning from it, making sure the system works. It sort of closes the loop on a professional, controlled, and importantly, defensible response.
Yeah, and connecting this to the bigger picture again.
Yep.
This systematic, layered way of doing things prioritizes communication, prioritizes de-escalation, while always sticking to those strict policy guidelines.
Right.
It's about a controlled, proportionate, and accountable reaction.
Right.
One that seeks to resolve the situation, not just, subdue the person. What do you find most striking about this very structured approach to managing difficult individuals? Especially how it seems designed to try every non-physical option first.
It definitely emphasizes control and procedure. Now, beyond these core questions, Kaplan's resources also give us a bit of a window into the wider world of corrections. They show the different career paths you might take.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a section on interview questions for related jobs. It mentions roles like booking officer, certified detention deputy, correctional captain, even community corrections officer.
Ah, okay. So that shows there's room for growth, for progression.
Exactly.
And also different specializations within the whole system. All these roles, they probably need overlapping skills, sure, but also distinct ones. It just underscores how complex the field is and the many ways people can contribute.
It does. And, for anyone seriously thinking about this path, Kaplan even offers an interview coach tool. They describe it as something to help elevate your interview performance and let you walk into those crucial interviews with unwavering confidence.
Well, that just highlights how valuable targeted preparation is, doesn't it? Building on these specific areas we've just been digging into, tools like that can really take your interview performance from, good to great, making sure you really communicate your skills, your mindset effectively.
So wrapping this up, what does all this mean for you after taking this deep dive with us?
Well, hopefully you've got a much clearer, more comprehensive picture of the unique demands of being a prison officer. You hopefully understand now that it really requires this complex blend of things. Constant vigilance, expert de-escalation skills, an unwavering respect for people, and making critical decisions under huge pressure. You've essentially had a strategic shortcut to being really well informed about a career that honestly impacts so many lives.
Indeed. And the core values that shine through these interview questions, they're pretty clear, aren't they? Professionalism, sticking strictly to procedures, and having that profound capacity for thoughtful, human-centered interaction, even in the most challenging, most controlled environments.
Yeah.
These are really the bedrock qualities, I think, of effective correctional work. So here's a final provocative thought for you to maybe chew on. How do the skills needed for managing conflict, for de-escalating situations inside a prison, how do those skills translate or maybe even inform how we handle conflict and security in our everyday lives out here in our communities?
Yeah, it's definitely worth reflecting on that, isn't it? The broader use of these principles goes clear communication, setting respectful boundaries, making calm, informed decisions under pressure. Maybe there's more wisdom there for all of us than we might initially think, even far away from